Did you know there's a Catholic legend of Saint Nicholas, who was a Catholic bishop who punched Arius in the face during the Council of Nicaea for his teaching of Arianism? Not the racist Arianism that I think it's also a name for it, right? Yeah, Catholic Santa Claus was a bad... Yep, that Santa Claus we see now was inspired by Saint Nicholas, who himself, outside of the legend, has a pretty interesting backstory rooted in Catholic history. This was way before a Visit from St. Nicholas poem that was realized by Clement Clark Moore, who established the mythology with the sleigh, reindeers, chimney entry, gifts, delivery on Christmas Eve, and a cheerful, magical tone. This is where Santa Claus became a household figure in America. Of course, before that, Europe already folklorized St. Nicholas and even created a helper for him. Not an elf like you Americans got. We had something even better. Black Peter, aka Schwarzapet, a Negro helper. Bruh. Don't worry. It's not racist at all. So St. Nicholas went from the most respectable bishop in the Catholic Church to Santa Claus, still retaining the saint part of his backstory, to America giving him a sleigh, reindeers, to a visual form we kind of see now, created by Thomas Nast between, I believe it was 1860 and 1880 for Harper's Weekly magazine, until Hitler's favorite drink company, Fanta by Coca-Cola, took St. Nicholas, polished him up, and gave us Santa Claus and debt. I bet you didn't know that, did you? See, that was my Christmas gift to you.
Knowledge.
You know what else I got for you? The real Christmas. Let's go. We've bastardized Christmas and turned it into a month-long celebration of consumerism, a lie, and kids' favorite holiday of the year. But where's Christ in all of this? Missing, somewhere on the milk carton. It's a little messed up, to be honest, if you think about it, because here's what everyone conveniently ignores. The winter solstice was already a thing before Jesus. I just want to throw it out there before all the secular hippies rage out in the comments about solstice and blah, 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 whatever the new age crap is that they believe in. Solstice, that's not Christianity, that's astronomy, the shortest day, the longest night. Humans notice it because, shocker, darkness is trying to kill people. That's where the attacks would happen and animals will come out that try to eat everybody. And ancient people tracked it obsessively. Stone circles, calendars, festivals. Romans had, I believe it was called Saturnalia. Later, you got Sol Invictus. Germans had Yule. Everyone noticed the same thing. Darkness peaks, then light starts creeping back. And hope returns slowly, almost insultingly slow. Now here's the part that melts people's brains. Christians didn't look at solstice and say, stealing it. What? What the fuck? They looked at Christ and said, when did he enter history? And the early Christians believed in something called the integral age. The idea that great prophets were conceived and died on the same calendar date. They dated the crucifixion to March 25th, count 9 months forward, boom, December 25th. And that calculation shows up in Christians writing before the Roman Empire went all in on this whole sun worshipping crap. So that means Christmas started as theology. But once the date was set, Christians absolutely leaned into symbolism. And why wouldn't they? Darkness at the deepest point, light is the beginning to return. Not the sun, not a symbol, a person. That's why Advent exists. Advent is the church saying, don't you dare rush this. Sit in the dark, feel the weight, 4 Sundays, purple vestments, the perfect time to pull out your Prince outfit. No, not that one. You know which one I'm talking about. Yeah, that one. There you go. I'm sorry, y'all. The whole season is designed to basically irritate modern people because it refuses instant gratification. You see, historically, Christians treated Advent almost like a mini Lent. Less feasting, fewer parties, more prayers and reflection, greater focus on repentance and readiness. Advent isn't festive. It's honestly uncomfortable on purpose. Waiting on purpose for 4 Sundays, which means 4 weeks leading up to Christmas. Christians from the 4th century used Advent to prepare for Christ's first coming at Christmas. And to remember that he will come again at the end of history. That's why Advent is quieter and more serious than the rest of December. The evil Catholic Church, it actually is training patience, repentance, and attentiveness. So before the Protestants flip out, the Bible repeatedly commands God's people to wait, prepare, and stay awake, right? I mean, can we agree on that, right? That is in the Bible?
Yes, definitely.
This is where the Advent tradition was created from. Jesus himself says to be watchful and ready because the Son of Man comes at the unexpected hour, right? Matthew 24, verse 42 through 44. John the Baptist's entire ministry is preparation and repentance before Christ appears. Matthew 3, 1 through 3. Israel spends centuries waiting for the Messiah, not celebrating before he arrives. Isaiah 40, verse 3. And Paul tells Christians to live alertly in the darkness while waiting for salvation to be revealed. Romans 13, verse 11 through 12. James explicitly tells believers to be patient and establish their hearts for the Lord's coming. James 5, 7 through 8. That's how we got Advent, simply organizing these biblical commands into dates and celebrations. And then Christmas hits. And here's another thing that we completely butchered. Christmas was never just one day.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Christmas Eve was a day of preparation. Hence, if you were a good Christian little baby boy, you would go to church at midnight to prepare for December 25th, the start of Christmas Octave. And here's the crazy part we forgot besides forgetting to subscribe to my channel. Come on, subscribe. Christmas Octave was supposed to be 8 days of celebration that has now been treated as one single feast. There was no back to normal on the 26th. Historically, people didn't even exchange most gifts on Christmas Day. I know. Don't tell nobody. That came later. Just saying. Then celebration kept going on, and then you get the 12 days of Christmas. Yes, you know about the 12 days of Christmas because of the song.
Fourth day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 4 calling bird, 3 fret hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
So technically, Christmas is actually from December 25th to January 5th, with the Epiphany on January 6th. So the early Christians' rhythm kind of looked like this. Wait in darkness, that's Advent. St. Nicholas Day, which is December 6th, such a dope tradition by the way, just look into it. It has nothing to do with Advent or the formal liturgical season. Advent was shaped after St. Nicholas was already being venerated because he died on December 6th. But totally look into St. Nicholas Day. I love it. I love that holiday. So when Advent settled into the later November and December, Nicholas' feast simply just kind of landed within that. Anyways, light arrives, which is Christmas. Then we celebrated a lot longer than you waited for Christmas. So a lot of time off, which, isn't cool for modern society. We got to get back and work for the machine. You're lucky if you get Christmas Eve off.
Oh, wow, jeez. Somebody really got carried away with the spirit of Christmas. That was me. I got carried away.
You see, modern culture does the complete opposite. We celebrate early, we burn out fast, we forget why we're even celebrating and back to work. That's why Christmas, I think, feels very hollow now, in my opinion, especially when it comes down to the truth and the spirituality aspect. Not because Jesus is missing from the mall, but because we murdered the structure that made joy make sense. We turned Advent into pre-Christmas. We turned Christmas into one morning. We turned 12 days of celebration into a back to reality of realizing you worked your butt off for 11 months, lightly put you in debt, and buy gifts for your kids and giving credit to some Coca-Cola make-believe character. Think about that for a second. We are so stupid for following these new age secular traditions. We really need to stop being consumers. Literally making Walmart, Target, and Amazon richer while lying to our kids and not getting credit for anything you bought them. And worst of all, we forgot Christmas is about Jesus, even though it's in the name. Yes, Christmas comes from Old English. Christes Messe, literally meaning Mass of Christ. Christe, of Christ. Messe, Mass, or the Eucharist celebration. The term appears in English sources by the 11th century. Over time, Christes Messe turned into Christmas. So yeah, originally Christians celebrated Advent. You probably saw the Advent calendar and the wreath somewhere in some of these stores. A great tradition to participate in, especially if you have kids. Not to mention St. Nicholas Day. We allowed all of that to be stripped away, and now we got this cultural remix and a fat, jolly Santa Claus. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on Santa Claus or secular Christmas. Want to look like a Jehovah's Witness? I still enjoy modern version of Xmas. I enjoy Santa lore. I enjoy Christmas movies like Home Alone, Christmas Vacation, and Santa Claus. My kids still enjoy the fictitious character, but we also incorporate the real Christian holiday that mostly is forgotten. We participate in Advent. We celebrate St. Nicholas Day. We have the Advent wreath, the calendar, and we have our nightly prayers together. We go to church at midnight on the 24th, then come home and then we open up gifts and we celebrate for a couple of days. We found a way to keep a Catholic tradition alive. So yeah, we might be the weird ones, the oddballs, the family that still waits, the family that still knows who St. Nicholas actually was, the family that still lets Advent be Advent and Christmas be Christmas. And honestly, I'm fine with that. Some Catholics go to the extreme with tradition and abstain completely. Others find a balance, like us. Because Christmas was never supposed to be loud first and empty later. It was supposed to be quiet at first and then explode with meaning. We didn't lose Christmas because a Santa Claus showed up. We lost it because we stopped waiting. We stopped preparing. We stopped knowing what we were celebrating in the first place. We drank the Kool-Aid. Oh yeah! Advent teaches you how to wait. Christmas tells you why the wait mattered. And when you get that order right, Santa can stay, movies can stay, gifts can stay, the fun can stay. They just stop being God and God becomes God again. So if Christmas feels hollow, it's not because Christmas disappeared or because you live in Florida and there's no snow. It's because we buried him under receipts and debt. Put Advent back where it belongs. Stretch Christmas back to the full length, at least. Try to, even if you work. And suddenly the season works again. And that, my friends, is real Christmas. Hey, thank you for watching my video. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. It was quick. It was really fast. I actually was working on a different video and I was like, I got to drop a Christmas episode or else I'm going to miss a great opportunity to get a bunch of subscribers and likes because of you. Yes, help a brother out. That's my only Christmas wish. Come on, get me to 1 million subscribers. Nope. Again, I'm shooting for the stars here. But that's my Christmas wish, okay? 1 million subscribers. Let's go. No, seriously, let's try to get me to 1,000. I really appreciate it so I can get monetized. Let's go. Check out one of these videos over here. And of course, Merry Christmas. If you're watching this after Christmas, I'm sorry. Well, Happy New Year. And if it's past the New Year, well, God bless.